and on TikTok.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube. Brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in studio today, Rennie Cluver, Executive Director of the Clinton YMCA. Rennie, always good to see you, my friend. How's summer treating you so far?
So far, so good.
Good to hear. Well, I know summertime at the Y, and we'll talk about this maybe in a little bit, but we've talked in the past how summertime, things can slow down, not as many people in the gym, on the treadmills, because the weather's nice. They can, go walk the morning, they can walk the evening, or maybe they're one of those gluttons for punishment that enjoys walking the heat of the day. But I've noticed just a lot of people in the weight room and the wellness center and all the things. But I know one thing to get us started today before we kind of dive into summer at the Y. I want to approach this lightly with you, but for a lot of folks, they know the YMCA is looking at fundraising for a new facility, and I'm just kind of curious if you're able to talk about that, what you're able to tell us about that process and where it stands.
Yeah, I think the times that you and I have talked one-on-one, and I've used the term too. It's kind of like the worst kept secret in DeWitt County, which I preface that and say that, but there's probably a lot of intent on it being that way. Like someone comes by my office and asks me about it, I'll show them the plans that we've got, and because I'm excited about it. And this process of starting a capital campaign to build a new facility, and really it started as we just needed gym space for our own programming. Everybody knows that's involved in youth sports, especially, that the school district does a great job of allowing the community to use gym space, but they've got to use it for their own sport teams. And it's tough, and there's just not enough space to use. And so this is years ago where we're like, we need to find new gym space. So it started out as, let's put up a building with a couple courts in it. And it's expanded into being a brand new facility, just everything, in two phases currently. Because we started with just needing gym space, and then we're like, well, what would it look like to add a pool and just get out of our old building and move on? And so we're looking at it two phase, with the plan that once we raise all the money, we'd love to do it in just one phase. And so over the last couple of years, we've been developing that, and I think it was, the capital campaign fundraising, the quiet phase, I will say, has been going on for a year. And so, we've made a lot of traction. I will say, I can say that our initial goal is $10 million for phase one. And we've been blessed tremendously with a handful of donors. I say handful, less than 40. That has been the bulk of and we're already, past that 80% of our goal for that phase one. And so
that's generosity right there.
Yes, it is. You know what? The main thing about this whole process that is done for me personally is, when it started, it's like, yes, we need gym space for the Y. It'd be great for a programming, and that's developed into, the community be able to use it too. The youth leagues, the girls basketball, boys basketball, indoor, outdoor activities, to see how much this project is more about the community versus just the Y is huge. And I think there's people out there that would like, oh, the Y, why do they need a new facility? And they're not members, but it's going to affect them. Because this project, the whole reason behind it and where it's going to be at, which is the old junior high and high school location on Prairie Passage across from the library. And the whole reason for that is to draw more traffic to the downtown area and foot traffic. And over time, I've been able to study how much foot traffic the Y brings in at our current location on Alexander Street. And it is amazing to see, 2 years ago, it was like 35,000 different people, but people that came in through those doors and checked in. That's not even counting the people that didn't. And then in 2025, it's 38,000.
Oh, wow.
Our enrollment, our membership is increasing
You said to me off air, it's as strong as it's ever been.
Yeah, I would say we're probably right at 2,300 members.
Mhm.
Now, that's not saying all members are coming in and using the wellness center and the
Mhm.
weight room, and some of them just use the pool, and some people just come in to shoot baskets, and some people just come in to group exercise. You know, when I left today to come here, the parking lot was packed,
Mhm.
and it had nothing to do with camp,
Mhm.
because camp kids aren't driving to the Y. And it was after all the parents had dropped off.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're in a good position where we think that this is going to be a huge impact, not just on the YMCA as an organization, but a huge impact in what it can bring to the community, to DeWitt County,
Totally.
and from an economic standpoint,
Mhm.
and bringing more people to Clinton
Mhm.
to not just use the Y, but to, gosh, eat at restaurants,
Yeah.
purchase vehicles, go to the grocery store.
Well, and so to that end, what would that look like? Like, what about the YMCA? Because YMCA's are largely a community based organization, right? You draw from your community because, you know, folks in other places can go to, you know, Bloomington, Champaign, all these other places. So how would you draw people in? How would this become an economic driver for the county in that way?
Well, it's interesting because over the whole process of the capital campaign started, gosh, almost 4 years ago, when we did basically a feasibility study.
Mhm.
Is how much money can we actually raise to do this? Is it even feasible? And when we interviewed people, it was really awesome to see that. And they'd been around. Maybe some of them moved here in the 70s, even some before that. But they said one of the reasons why they brought their family was because there was a YMCA.
Mhm.
And so we feel that with what's going on in DeWitt County, with, you know, you've got the power plant making huge traction, and,
Mhm.
you know, Meta buying energy from them. We've got Quickwall that has started their business and bringing more employees into DeWitt County, and other businesses that I haven't even talked about, that it can be a great marketing tool to bring young families into the Clinton area,
Totally agree.
especially with DeWitt County and the income or the property taxes.
Mhm.
You know, we want to be that stimulus. We want to be the nucleus that allows DeWitt, the DCDC, to go out and market. So, like, why would you want to be in DeWitt County? Well, hey, we've got this brand new YMCA, state of the art, great location. So,
on top of what the schools are doing,
Right.
and so many other good things going on.
I mean,
Yeah.
it is ripe for, and it's just, you know, I always say it's one of those God things of, you know, we've been talking about gym space for 10 years at board meetings, and just finally decided, like, we need to either stop talking about it or do something about it.
There's a phrase that comes to mind that is not radio appropriate, but I think I know where you're going with that.
Yeah.
Rennie Cluver is the executive director of the Clinton YMCA, our guest in studio for today. What are the other what would some of the other benefits, attractions besides gym space, maybe a new pool? What else would there be at this new facility that you envision?
Well, besides gym space, which the gym that we're looking at doing is 3 full courts. And when we do this, talking with the school district, with the AD, Mr. Keppel, you know, once we have this built, at least the phase 1 gym spaces, I mean, they would love to see all the outside community use of school district facilities to go to the Y. And with 3 full gyms, we'd be able to do that and host tournaments and we'll be able to increase our adult programming, indoor programming, if it's adult basketball or whatever it is, pickleball. We could have a court just reserved for pickleball throughout the day, which it's hard to do that in a Y that we're at now with the small gym. One thing that's really neat is it's 2 levels. And so the upper level would be the wellness center, the weight room, and it's all open. But there's also going to be a 3-lane walk around track or run around track around the 3 full courts, which is a pretty big space. So I think that'll bring a benefit to the community. You know, there's a lot of people that would use that just to walk,
yeah.
you know, especially in the winter months. And we have people now, members now, that walk around our gym in the Y's current facility, just to get out of the weather and just for
Mhm.
because they don't want to be on a treadmill.
Right. Sure.
And so we could even see a great collaboration with the school district, in the late part of winter when they're cross country is getting in track is wanting to do things indoors.
Mm.
We would love to be able to them to come and actually have a great track to run
Mhm.
on and to practice and work out.
I envision, excuse me, a lot like what Lincoln has with their park district, the rec center over there. Maybe not. I know theirs isn't multi-story, but maybe something like that is kind of what I envision the new Y to be.
Yeah, we went, and the committee that we put together is people that are on the board, our current board, and some community members too. And we went and we went to Pontiac to look
Pontiac's
at
got a nice
that
one.
community center that is
Mhm.
attached to this school district,
Mhm.
and the pools kind of separates the two.
Mhm.
It's 3 full courts with
Mhm.
a walk around track.
Mhm.
So that was very, when we started, we talked about, well, just one track or one court or 1.5 or two and a half. And, it's come down to with the need for gym space and youth sports being a multi-billion-dollar industry where, all these communities are building these big indoor facilities. We're like, if you go 3, you're never going to say, gosh, I wish we didn't do 3 courts. But if you only did 2, you probably wouldn't be longer. Like, gosh, I wish we did 3.
Mhm. Mhm.
So we feel like it'd be a great benefit to the community.
Mhm.
Again, going back to not just the YMCA as an organization, is like we want the community we want this to be that nucleus
Mhm.
to draw other businesses. With the foot traffic going through the downtown, we'd love to see more businesses develop it there if it's places to eat because of the traffic that the Y is bringing on a weekend where we're hosting a youth volleyball tournament or youth basketball tournaments.
Mhm.
Also taking into account that we don't want this just to be, a tournament driven facility. We are going to have tournaments in order to generate enough revenue to maintain the
Mhm.
building and pay operational costs. But we feel like with the 3 full courts too, it allows us to keep a gym space open for just member use. I mean,
Mhm.
we're not trying to forget about all the members that we currently have. We think this facility will be large enough and accommodate everyone to do what we plan on doing with it.
Would this force membership dues to go up?
Currently, we have no desire to increase that. I feel like we're competitive where we're at. I don't know what that will be. Let's say it's 2 years that we actually have something built.
Mhm.
We may have to look at it then. Last year, the start of this year was the first time we had raised dues for a couple of years.
Mhm.
It's obvious, and we're going to have to just to keep up with the cost of living and things like that. So, but we do not see it like, oh, we got to increase it $5 just to pay for this. We feel that the facility will allow one, it's going to increase membership.
Mhm.
When you build something new like that, we'll see an increase. I would plan on us being at 3,000 members right away
Mhm.
as that
Totally.
thing opens.
Yeah. I mean, people want to come check it out.
Yes, and so the revenue is going to be there more for membership side, and then on top of what programming we can do, we feel like that's going to generate revenue. And so trying to build it as cost effective and as debt free as we possibly can, so that we don't have to. Because what happens if you start increasing the cost, then that pushes some people out that can't afford it, and then you're not gaining anything if you lose membership. So it's one of those tricky things. But I really, in all the years that I've been at the Y, which is coming up on year 12 here next week.
I was thinking 12, 13,
Yeah,
something like
12
that.
next
Yeah.
week.
Wow.
It's really just we don't spend a lot of time looking at, we got to raise it. We look at our finances, and we're not sitting down trying like, gosh, how can we increase our revenue by increasing membership rates?
You mentioned doing this debt free, and you said you're about 80% there on your goal for phase 1. Are you at liberty to say what the next phases of fundraising looks like, when those might get started? What are your phases of fundraising? Or again, are you at liberty to share those things?
Yeah, Seth, I still hold, and I pray about it a lot, is that we'll have someone step in, if it's in the community or if it's a grant we get, or if it's through a state grant, federal grant, we're still looking at all those opportunities, to get some bigger gifts. And we're talking $1 million plus, that something will happen. Someone will step in, a corporation or individual donor, and we'll be able to do the entire thing. I would say 10 million for phase 1. Our goal would be like 5 million for phase 2. So if you want to put 15 out there, I would say, I'd feel really comfortable with, we're still trying to get quotes in what it's going to cost to build phase 1. And so maybe that 10 million is not the accurate goal. Maybe it's got to be 12 with the cost. And then maybe that increases the next one, phase 2, to where 17 million is what our goal is to do an entire new facility. But we're still working on those things, and it's trying to be patient. And there's parts of the campaign that go very, very fast, and there's parts that are really, really slow. We're probably in a slow phase right now. Publicly, we haven't even, this is the first time I've talked about it on the air at any depth. So anybody listening is like, maybe you've already heard about this, the secret. At some point in September, we're hoping to have an actual public event that will show some of the renderings of what it's going to look like, and actually have a public phase where there's ways that the public can be a part of it. If it's buying plaque based off of your donation, and so we're going to have all that organized. Where if someone comes up to me and is like, "Hey, I would love to be a part of it." Well, here's how you can do it.
Very good. Exciting stuff, Rennie. It really is. Look forward to kind of keeping tabs on where this goes for you folks. Again, Rennie Cluver, Executive Director of the Clinton YMCA, is my guest in studio. We'll break here. More to come with Rennie on the WHOW Morning Show.
Central. WHOW.
Let's check the markets now on the RFD Radio Network. I'm Jim Taylor. Corn slightly higher, beans and wheat trading lower. July corn up 2 1/4, 4.15. September corn up 2, 4.22 3/4, and December corn 4.42 1/4, up 2. July beans down 2 1/4, 11 1/4. August beans down 2 3/4, 11.15 3/4. November beans down 3, 11.29. July Chicago wheat down 2 3/4, 5.81 1/2. July KC wheat unchanged, 6.34 1/2. July bean meal up 20 cents, 301.50. July bean oil down $1.22, 73.06. Livestock trade, August feeders up $1.02, 358.37. June live cattle up 2 cents, 249.90. July lean hogs up 52 cents, 97.97. Energy market, August Brent crude oil 82.88, down 4.45. RFD Radio Network.
Paul Scourin here, CEO of Warner Hospital. Spring allergies acting up? At Warner Hospital and Health Services, we offer fast treatment to help you breathe easier and feel better fast. Quality care right here, right now. Click on our icon on DeWittDailyNews.com.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube. Brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Again, my guest in studio today, Rennie Cluver, Executive Director of the Clinton YMCA. Rennie, just a few minutes to finish up with you here this morning. I know summertime is, you mentioned the parking lot is up and going, but it's not all the camp traffic, even though camp is going. A lot of kids out at camp every week this year. On the daily, there's a couple dozen kids participating. That's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, it's been good. It's always a busy time when you've got that many campers. I don't even have the official number. This was over a week ago that I looked at it. We have over 200 campers with what we've got in Clinton and Monticello.
Wow.
And probably I wouldn't be surprised if we're at like that 250.
Really, between the two?
That's a huge impact on kids in DeWitt and Piatt County that we're have at summer camp.
Well, and I tell you, you're really doing good stuff with them. Just all the activities that Melinda's put together and her staff with camp this year. They're doing some exciting stuff. And I don't want to dismiss the fact that all your other activities are going well. You mentioned the parking lot full this morning. What's everybody at the Y for these days?
It was right before. It was the first week of June, I believe. We had 29 people in aqua size in the pool, which is the most I've ever seen.
That's a full pool.
It's neat because where my office is at, I hear people come in that ask about membership, and it's been really cool to hear people that say, "Hey, I decided to get a membership. My sister's been coming here and she's just been talking about it and how great it is." And it's not even just, oh, you'll love the aqua size class. It's you'll love the people that are in the aqua size class. And that's what keeps them there. The YMCA is full of members that are just great people, and there's no judgment on, who can do what and what your health and wellness ability is, and
where you're at in your journey. And
same thing with the group exercise class. People return because it's accountability, and they know it's good for them, health and wellness.
Even though a lot of times in years past we've talked about kind of slows down because people pause membership because there is the opportunity to walk outside and do all these other things, but sounds like things are going steady at the Y these days. Very good. Rennie, I look at the clock, my friend. I apologize, I gotta let you go already. How do folks learn more about all things Clinton YMCA?
I would suggest just come visit us and see what we got to offer.
Very good. I know you're on Facebook, active there as well, and a lot of online registration going on now for things as well. If you don't mind, throw the website out for folks.
Yes, it's www.clintonymca.org. ClintonCom, COMMYMCA.org.
Sure. Rennie Cluver, Executive Director of the Clinton YMCA, in studio with us. Network News on the way.